Persist and resist. Two words that guide us in rising toward good and pulling ourselves away from what harms us. Persist and resist, the story of the two guardians. A story for our daily life. There once lived a young woman named Amina, known in her village not for her strength or talents, but for her gentle heart. She always dreamed of becoming someone who served her community, someone useful and honorable. But she had one problem whenever life became difficult. She doubted herself, and whenever people praised her, she forgot her humility. One day, she visited an old scholar who had lived a long, wise life. She asked him, "How can I become someone strong? Someone who does good without falling into pride or weakness?" The scholar smiled and handed her a small wooden box. Inside were two stones. One stone was bright and smooth. The other was rough and heavy. He said, "These are your two guardians. Persist and resist." Amina looked confused. "What do they mean?" "Persist, the smooth stone of goodness." The scholar explained, "Whenever you are striving or exerting towards something noble, when your intentions are pure, when you want to become better, to rise, to build, to learn, hold this stone and remember. Persist. Persist when it becomes boring. Persist when it becomes painful. Persist when you feel unnoticed. Persist when no one believes in you." He continued, "Greatness isn't built in noise. It grows in quiet rooms, in lonely mornings, in the unseen hours. Persist and goodness will open doors you thought were locked." By Yra. Resist the rough stone of restraint. Then he pointed to the heavy stone. "This one," he said, "is for the battles inside your own heart. When pride whispers you are better than others. When anger pushes you to hurt someone. When temptation invites you to take the easy but wrong path. When laziness tells you to stop trying. Hold this stone and remember. Resist. Resist what drags you down. Resist what stains your heart. Resist what disconnects you from your purpose." Persist and resist. They work together as a team. We are human, we do mistakes, and sometimes pain and boredom breaks our persistence and paralyze us to move towards our goals. That happens with everyone, even with me as well. I push myself towards to achieve my goals, but after 2 or 3 weeks, I get bored, lazy, painful, and exhausted. And that breaks my persistence and stop me my goals achieving journey, and that delay sometimes lasts for 2 or 3 days. But in this condition, resist play important rôle. Because when we stop pursuing our goals, that time we are weak and easily distracted by temptation. And if we get involved in temptation, then that delay of 2 or 3 days will prolong and reach to the weeks and months and years. And finally, we give up. It's very difficult to come back. That time, the resist plays an important role to break that cycle of stagnation and stillness and stop us fall in trap of temptation, gratification, and procrastination, and brings us back to persistence. Through my experience, I learned when I fall in that condition, quickly I drop my efforts and immediately start following the formula of do it easy. And I found myself back on track again. The journey toward a peaceful life. Amina carried the 2 stones everywhere. She kept them in a small pouch, one to push her forward, one to pull her back when needed. Over time, people noticed a change in her. She did not give up easily anymore. She did not fall into anger or jealousy. She was steady, not perfect, but balanced. The villagers asked her, "How do you stay so calm, so focused, so untroubled?" She smiled and said, "2 words guard my life. Persist and resist." And truly, her life became blameless and peaceful not because she had no challenges, but because she had learned how to face them. Moral of the story. In every day of your life, you will meet 2 roads. One requires persistence, the courage to keep going when it is easier to stop. The other requires resistance, the strength to say no when it is easier to say yes. If you obey both, you will live with honor, clarity, and inner peace.